And welcome back. I'm Liz Pizzetto.
And I'm Regina Montgomery, and you're watching Mom2Mom.
Mom2Mom. Yes, I remember what show I'm on. May not seem like that,
she
but
loves
I do.
what she does.
I do. I love it so much that I forget.
She does. You know, just so you know, Liz does all the research for the show. I just show up. She does all the work.
That's not true. That's not true.
But she does spend a lot of time researching, and she's learned a lot from it. Me, I'm kind of like, I think, because most of the guests that come on here, I know them so
you
well.
You know them
that
already.
It's,
yeah,
you know,
you're well connected, Regina.
But I learn
I'm getting there.
But I learn a lot, though, from them. Even though I've had people on that I know, I always find out something new about them.
Right.
Which is very exciting. So if you're just joining us, this is our mother-daughter show. We had our daughters on earlier, and now we're joined by another dynamic mother-daughter team. We have Krista and Olivia. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So now you have a story for us. Tell us, now, I'll give you a little background here. Krista and I went to high school together, so again, but I hadn't seen Krista
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, we did, many years ago. No, that was just last year, actually.
Yes.
But anyway, I didn't know about Krista's story, and it was I was downtown Orangeville, and a mutual friend of ours, had something posted in her window, and I said, what is that? And she told me. So I went back and looked it up on Facebook and saw the goldfish and your logo. And I was like, wow, this is really cute. So I started reading this blog that she does. Let me tell you.
Great blog.
Sometimes it is so funny.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, is right.
Yeah. It injects light into...
just even motherhood
really
and everyday
it's
life.
Amazing. Yes, making light of situations where perhaps it doesn't seem like that at the time, right? Yes. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I just started it just to kind of for fun and to advertise our book, but you know, I find that when I talk about the fact that we're running around screaming and the dog's throwing up and, you know, the kids
that's
are
our family, though.
You know, that people can really relate to that because it's real life and it's not, you know, it's not roses and happy faces all the time. So
I think a lot of moms can relate to it, because I'll read some of your things. I'm like, well, thank God I'm not the only one freaking out on my kids for leaving their shoes at the front door or something like that.
Exactly. So yes, we've had a lot of success with that. We have about almost 3,000 followers on our page. So
and they're from all over the place,
they're from
too,
all over the world. All over. We've had Australia, India, the UK, Costa Rica.
Wow.
So,
very good.
And so can you give our audience sort of a brief story on how the book came to be? And
Well, Olivia was diagnosed with Asperger's when she was 10, and I didn't have a clue what Asperger's was. And so I went to our local bookstore to find a book because she had gone to a lot of different doctors and gone through a lot of different testings, and she was really aware of that and wondered what was wrong with her. And in fact, she said, Mom, am I dying of a deadly disease? What's wrong with me? So I said, no, I wanted to find a book that would be simple enough and upbeat enough for her, you know, to talk about what is Asperger's. So I couldn't find one. So we decided to write one. I said, do you want to write a book about...
At first I said no.
Yeah. So first she said no.
I hated writing.
But
not a lot of people do.
Yes, but I said, why don't you tell me what to write and I will write it for you.
Okay.
And so
Now, sorry, 10 seems a little late, though, isn't it? Like, isn't that something that's usually around 2 or 3, something around there, isn't it?
It's sort of, now it's becoming a lot more prevalent, but at the time it was really kind of went undiagnosed for a number of years. Although we knew there was some differences in how she learned and how she acted in a social situation, we really sort of couldn't put our finger on what was the issue. So we wrote the book and we went downtown Orangeville to Book Lore, and Nancy Frater took the book and she said, this needs to be in every bookstore, it needs to be in every doctor's office, it needs to be in every school. And she really helped us.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's so awesome. She helped us a great deal, and she put on a book signings at her store. We did a book signing there. From there we've gone all kinds of places. So now the book is offered on chapters.ca.
I saw that.
On Amazon. Olivia went last year to the National Asperger's or Autism Conference in Winnipeg, and she spoke and read her book. And it seems like every person you know knows someone with autism.
So now you're speaking. Are you writing those speeches?
What speeches?
Or
This one.
the ones
This
that you...
one was actually originally for school.
Yeah.
For a speech thing in school.
But you wrote it, though.
Yes.
So you're starting to like writing a little bit more.
I love it now. I have like big stack of my my stories up there.
Writes
And I've
writes.
seen your drawings, too. You're an amazing... She could have illustrated the book.
She could have,
Your
yes.
drawings are amazing. Your mom posts them. I don't know. Do you follow the blog that you wrote? Yes? How do you feel about that? Do you laugh sometimes?
Yes. The thing is, I realize it from her point of view, and it's pretty hilarious then.
Sometimes I will ask her permission if it's
Yeah.
something that I feel like she might, feel upset if I wrote. I'll ask her if it's
Honestly,
okay.
I've never complained.
No, yes. My other daughter said, "Don't make sure you don't put that on Facebook."
I know there was a nice picture the other day of the two of them, actually. I saw it on Facebook. I think we have some pictures that you can write. So there's a look at the book.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
That's the cover.
It's so cute, the goldfish. So tell us quickly about the goldfish.
My special interest.
Yeah, he's cute. Look at how cute he is.
He's sweet.
So most kids with Asperger's have a special interest, something that they're deeply interested in, and they want to
research it.
Research it.
Does it have a name? Does that goldfish have a
And
name?
hers is fish.
No.
No, sadly, no.
Okay.
It's not a real fish, also would
It's
have.
an adorable fish. Oh, is this at a book signing?
This was at Chapters.
Yes, this was in Waterloo. That was her very first book signing, Chapters Waterloo.
How long ago was that?
That was last year.
Okay. So you were 12 last year. Good for you.
This is one of the book signings. This was another Chapters, but that was in Brampton.
But in June this month, and I turned 14.
That's right.
Oh, you turned 14.
Wow.
This month.
Look at those eyes.
This is
gorgeous
they call
picture.
them memes, or
Yeah.
people make their own postings for Facebook.
Yes.
And this is
You know
one
what?
Olivia made.
Oh, here's the last picture with your mom. How beautiful. I know that Olivia has this speech that she prepared, and we'd like to hear her do that.
would
So we're
love
going to
to
get you
hear
to
that.
do it now because we don't want to run out of time. I think everybody would love to hear it. So if you can present that to us, that would be great. Get into your position. Whatever makes you
This is
comfortable.
different surroundings.
Of course.
You'll do great.
Of course I
Of
will.
course you are. She's a born star.
That's what we like to hear.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Thank you.
My name is Olivia Goodrow. My mom and I wrote this book on Asperger syndrome when I was 10 years old. It's a kid's book that is about how life is with Asperger syndrome, and I'm an expert, obviously. First off, let me explain a few things. What is Asperger syndrome? People with Asperger syndrome have some differences in how their nervous system and brain works. My theory is that there may be some inflammation or other brain-related issues when these children are babies that may cause this. Anyways, because people with Asperger syndrome have brains that work a bit differently than most people, they may be anxious about socializing with their peers or making friends, and also be very focused on one thing. This is called a special interest, or of other challenges. As each of you are very different with different talents and gifts, each person with Asperger syndrome is as different as any other person with Asperger syndrome. From the book, my special interest is fish. When I was born, my dad bought me a stuffed animal fish. I love it and still have it. As I grew older, I continued to have a very serious interest in fish. If there were fish in a pet shop, I'd sit and watch them for hours. I got my first real fish when I was about 6 or 7, but I killed it by wanting to touch it too much. I still have fish at home, though. I began researching fish when I was old enough to use a computer and wrote long stories about them. I still have a great interest in them. Also, people with Asperger syndrome can experience sensitivity to noise. So I do wear headphones at school. The worst noises for me are the ones that echo and that are high-pitched. So I can be very, very uncomfortable when these noises are made in school. Like at recess, just loud activities in general, music, band, phys ed, and definitely fire drills. So don't think kids are weird when they have to wear earphones. For them, the little noises that you would ignore drive them crazy, and they can't concentrate. I'm also very sensitive about having people touch me. I don't usually like it, so I can get angry if someone bumps into me accidentally. For me, a little touch that you would brush off and ignore feels very unnatural to me and makes me upset. This includes my family members too. I just don't like to be touched. Even as a toddler, when my mom tried to hug me, I put my hand in front of her face and cried. Finally, I did mention that kids with Asperger syndrome can be very uncomfortable around other kids. I get anxious and don't know what to say. So sometimes I say silly things in order to communicate. Like in grade 5, I used to shout out cheese sticks every single time I got nervous around my friends. Many kids with Asperger syndrome also want to avoid eye contact. So you have to learn to look people in the eyes. So if someone isn't looking you in the eyes, doesn't necessarily mean they aren't listening. They may be just uncomfortable doing that. Lastly, most girls with Asperger syndrome like to express themselves with imagination. For me, I love to write and draw. Many famous people have Asperger syndrome, or have thought to have it. Einstein, Beethoven, Isaac Newton, and Jane Austen. In conclusion, like the ending of the book says, everyone has something they wish to change about themselves. Me? I wish I had straight hair. Otherwise, I'm good just the way I am. I have Asperger syndrome, and I'm okay with that. Your story matters. Tell it.